Welcome to the Musings of Jessica Marie. The 4th of July commemorates the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which established the United States as a separate country from Great Britain. As we celebrate America's 249th birthday, it's important to remember not only the good things of how the nation came together against adversity, but to also acknowledge the negative side that left an entire demographic enslaved, segregated, and unjustly targeted. Join me as we shine a historical spotlight on the brave Black Americans who helped build this country into the land of the free that it is known as today. While it's common knowledge that Black people fought in the Civil War, it's easy to overlook the Black people who made a difference during the Revolutionary War. At the time, there wasn't a reason for Black people to be loyal to one side over the other because there was still the huge issue of slavery that needed to be addressed. The British promised freedom for Black Americans, and between 15,000 and 20,000 of which joined to fight in the British Army. On the other hand, the Continental Army, led by George Washington, originally banned Black people from fighting for the burgeoning United States, but eventually between 5,000 and 8,000 Black Americans fought to defend the nation. Some of the Continental Army's regiments were integrated with Black Americans fighting right alongside everyone else, while others were strictly segregated and led by white officers. The platoons that laid to rest their racial differences found middle ground with each other since they faced the same hardships in camp and on the battlefield. Black soldiers held jobs that varied from wagoners, cooks, waiters, artisans, and fighters. The Black people who joined the fight often had to travel from very far distances, avoid capture from bounty hunters, and many were killed by diseases they picked up along the way. There were voyages like the 1780 and Act for the Gradual Abolition of Slavery in Pennsylvania, which gave enslaved people their freedom once they turned 28, that inspired many to pick up the battle for not only the country, but for their freedom as well. Despite facing racism from both sides, many Black soldiers put their lives on the line to protect the land they called home. None of them were properly commemorated, thanked, or even supported with social services after the war. A lot of them returned to prejudice, discrimination, and were often discarded without second thought. The Black veterans also didn't receive pensions for their service despite getting paid equally during the war. Even though the Black soldiers who fought in the Revolutionary War received their freedom, it's important to point out that their freedom wasn't granted out of the goodness of anyone's heart, but out of necessity for additional manpower. During those times, slavery was very far from being abolished and was a major source of wealth and labor. Not a single slave owner in history would have willingly abolished slavery if the country weren't threatened with calamity during the Civil War. Black Americans not only helped the country stand on its own, but they also invented, built, sold, and plowed the infrastructure. Racists and white supremacists might try to deduce Black people's contributions to this land as only picking cotton or agricultural goods, but our reach goes far beyond the fields. As the nation expanded westward, Black cowboys cleared land, developed new settlements, and laid the groundwork for the ranching industry. The hundreds of thousands of miles of railroad track across the country was laid by Black Americans. Slaves were used extensively for railroad construction, especially in the South. Even after emancipation, many freed Black men and women used their railroad skills to find sustainable work. Legends like Granville T. Woods and Elijah McCoy invented necessary devices like the steam boiler furnace, electromechanical brake, and lubricating cup to improve the safety and efficiency of trains. The inventions of Black Americans completely molded and reshaped industries across the country and were oftentimes stolen or not properly attributed. It's estimated that Black inventors created over 50,000 patents between 1870 and 1940, but who knows how many more were stolen due to slavery. The wealth generated from manual labor, countless life-changing inventions and centuries of trauma was never redistributed to the rightful owners. Even one of the most distinct cities in our nation was designed and built by Black Americans. Benjamin Banneker, a free Black architect, surveyed and planned the layout of Washington, D.C. While he did briefly work with Major Pierre Charles Elephant, much of the actual grunt work on the project was completed by Benjamin. He was in charge of surveying the land, identifying boundaries, and reproducing plans after Elephant abruptly left the country. The United States government, under the direction of the president, might I add, used both free and slave labor to construct the White House, the Capitol, and many other government buildings. Our ancestors worked from sunup until sundown doing hard, grueling, back-breaking work and were never thanked, appreciated, or even properly compensated. Our hands, brains, and spirits are literally in every fiber, corner, and industry of this country. The unspoken heroes of the United States are the Black Americans who have built, protected, and sustained the country. They've had to fight through discrimination, prejudice, and sabotage just to get a fraction of compensation and equal treatment. While America is indeed the land of the free, we have to remember who built the infrastructure that has allowed such growth, progress, and wealth to accumulate. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and subscribing to my channel. I'll see you in the next episode. Signed, Jessica Marie.